Most men are being quietly robbed, not by strangers, by the people they trust most. There are 5 things people will ask you for with a smile on their face and a knife behind their back. And the terrifying part? You'll hand it over willingly, every time. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still wrote to himself daily, warning himself against the same trap you're falling into right now. If a man with absolute power had to fight this battle, what makes you think you're above it? Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you will make you question every relationship in your life. Let's dive in. Number 1, your time. Stop giving people your time on demand, not your enemies, your friends, your family, the people who say just 1 minute, knowing full well 1 minute has never once been the truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that a man must perform every action as though it were his last, not with panic, with precision, with the understanding that time is not a renewable resource. It is the only thing you cannot earn back, borrow, or steal. Yet you answer every call. You drop everything when someone says they need you. You have built your life around being reachable, available, adjustable. And in doing so, you have silently communicated one thing: your time is worth less than theirs. Think about John Wick. Before the chaos, before anyone knew what he was capable of, he lived in silence. No calls, no favors, no availability. And the moment people remembered he existed, they treated him with absolute weight. Not because of what he said, because of what his absence had communicated for years. That is not a coincidence. Availability signals value. Scarcity protects it. This is where most men fail. They confuse love with accessibility. They confuse loyalty with being on call. They give their hours away like the supply is infinite, then wonder why they feel empty by Sunday night. Your time is not a gift you owe people, it is a currency. Spend it like one. Number 2, your emotional interior. Never let people live inside your head rent-free. There is a particular kind of person who finds you and immediately begins unloading. Every conversation is about them, their problems, their chaos, their unresolved spiral of drama that has been running since the day you met them. They do not want solutions. They want a container, and you have made yourself one. Seneca wrote that we suffer more from imagination than reality, but he also knew something darker. We suffer by proximity. Absorb enough of someone else's anxiety and it stops being theirs. It becomes yours. You will lie awake at 3 a.m. worrying about a problem you did not create and cannot solve. This is emotional theft, the polite kind, the kind that leaves no marks. Here is the story of a man named David, 26 years old, sharp, driven, the kind of person people gravitate toward. He had a friend, a close one, who called him every night for 2 years with a different crisis. Job problems, relationship problems, existential spirals. David listened every time. That was his identity, the one who listened. By year 3, David had quietly abandoned 2 business ideas he was genuinely excited about. He had stopped reading, stopped training consistently. He thought he was just tired. He was not tired. He was colonized. Someone else's chaos had become the background noise of his entire inner life. The day he stopped answering every call was the day he started building something real. You are not a therapist. You are not a landfill for unprocessed emotion. Care without limits is not virtue. It is self-destruction with a generous label. And here is what no one tells you. The people most likely to drain you are the ones who have learned that you will let them. Number 3, your inner compass. Stop letting people weigh in on your decisions. Epictetus was a slave. He owned nothing. He controlled nothing externally, and yet he wrote with more authority on personal freedom than most men who have had every advantage. His entire teaching rested on one axis. The only thing that is truly yours is your will, your judgment, your choice. The moment you hand that over to a committee, you have given away the only thing that was ever actually yours. You know this dynamic. You make a decision, quiet and confident, and then you mention it to someone. Suddenly there are questions, concerns. Are you sure? I just worry about you. If it were me, I would do it differently. And because you respect them or because you fear conflict, you start second-guessing yourself. Watch the pattern closely. They question you more when you grow. They worry more when you change. They advise more when your path does not look like theirs. That is not love. That is friction with your independence. Look at Achilles and Troy. Before the war, before the glory, his mother asks him what he wants. He tells her. One sentence. No debate, no counsel, no committee. He had already decided. The conversation was not an invitation for input, it was a statement of direction. The men around him spent entire scenes negotiating, justifying, building consensus. Achilles moved, and history remembered one name, because here is what explaining actually does. Every time you open up your decision to discussion, you transfer ownership of it. You invite people to become stakeholders in something that was never theirs. And once they feel like stakeholders, they feel entitled to a vote. You are allowed to consult people you deeply respect. There is a difference between counsel and commentary. Counsel comes from someone who understands your values and accepts your final say. Commentary comes from anyone who simply feels entitled to an opinion because they are present. Decide privately. Move forward quietly. Let results speak. Most men do not lose their direction all at once. They lose it one small explanation at a time. Number 4. Your silence when lines are crossed. Stop staying silent when someone disrespects you. This one is subtle, because Stoicism is often misunderstood as endurance, as absorbing, as rising above with a calm, unbothered face while someone chips away at your dignity in front of others. That is not Stoicism. That is fear wearing a philosophical costume. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most powerful men in human history. He commanded legions. He could silence a room with a look. And yet he wrote reminders to himself about maintaining self-respect in the face of those who would diminish him. If that level of man needed those reminders, you are not above needing them either. Disrespect rarely arrives loudly. It arrives as a joke that goes slightly too far. A comment that subtly positions you as beneath someone. Sarcasm with a smile. And because it is wrapped in humor or casualness, you hesitate. You tell yourself it is not worth it. You let it pass, and the line moves. You do not need rage. You do not need a confrontation. You need one sentence, delivered without emotion, without volume, without heat. That is not something I find acceptable. Then silence. The discomfort that follows is not yours to fill. Stoic response is not aggression. It is clarity. It is forcing the other person to sit inside the weight of what they actually did, instead of letting them hide behind tone. Silence is powerful only when it is chosen. When it is forced, it is permission. Do not confuse the two. Number 5. Your permanent forgiveness. Stop giving unlimited second chances to people who have shown you exactly who they are. This is where good men destroy themselves, because they are fair, because they believe in change, because they have been taught that forgiveness is a virtue and distance is a weakness. Seneca warned that we suffer not because life is hard, but because we refuse to learn from experience. The lesson is always there, written clearly in behavior, in patterns, in the gap between what someone says and what they do, and still we override the evidence with hope. Marcus Aurelius wrote plainly, "Stop expecting from a man what his nature will not allow." Forgiveness is for you. It releases the poison of resentment. It clears the weight from your chest. But forgiveness and access are not the same thing. You can let go of anger and still close the door. You can wish someone well from a distance they cannot cross. Character is not revealed in a moment. It is revealed in patterns. Apologies are easy. The words are free. Change is the only proof that costs anything. When you stop granting unlimited access, you will notice something. The people who genuinely valued you will reflect and adapt. The people who needed your tolerance as a resource will react with accusation and anger. That reaction is the final confirmation you needed. You are not obligated to keep reopening wounds to prove you are kind. Distance chosen deliberately is not abandonment. It is the oldest form of self-respect there is. Walk quietly, carry nothing that was never yours, and let the life you are actually building speak louder than any explanation you could have given. Thank you for watching. If you want the unpolished truth, no sugarcoating, no comfort, join my free newsletter. And if you'd like more videos, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.